declaration. The leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha said a Congress-led opposition alliance will unseat the BJP in 2024. Congress maintains there cannot be any opposition big enough to take on Narendra Modi without the grand old party as a lead and fulcrum. The opposition doesn't agree. The likes of BRS, TMC, Aam Aadmi Party, Samajwadi Party and more have repeatedly said they have no faith in the Congress and its ability to beat the BJP and that Congress cannot assume a leadership role. But recently, Nitish Kumar did ask the Congress to take a lead in uniting the opposition. Bihar Chief Minister said that if the opposition comes together, then the Saffron Party, the BJP, cannot win more than 100 seats. There's no evidence of that, to be honest, that even if all non-NDA parties come together, that BJP will be in trouble. This, even if parties who are opposed to the Congress somehow bite their lips and decide to come together ahead of 2024. Alliances just don't reap that kind of dividend like this anymore. On-ground chemistry doesn't work like this. Let's not forget, in many states, the same parties fight each other quite bitterly. Akhilesh and Rahul came together in 2017 Uttar Pradesh polls to take on the BJP. The Saffron Party won big. Mayawati and Akhilesh came together ahead of 2019 general elections in UP. The BJP won 80% of the seats. The need of the hour is a strong and vigilant opposition. But can there be a united opposition when most of them have national ambitions and are busy fighting each other? That's a whole other ballgame. So is the Congress woefully out of touch of its own standing when it declares it will lead an alliance to power in 2024? We'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. But first up, a reminder of what Mallikarjun Kharge has said. He said an alliance government will be formed at the centre in 2024. That's also the first big admission of sorts, accepting that they need an alliance to beat BJP. He added, talks are going on with other parties. To be honest, one wonders where and when, because most other big regional parties are not seeing eye to eye with the Congress. Here's the kicker. Kharge says Congress will be leading this alliance. He also said people will teach a lesson to the BJP in 2024 and let 100 Modi Shah come. Congress-led alliance will form a government in 2024. Congress as an opposition fulcrum. Do the numbers really support the claim that they make that they are the ones who have to do this? Now, Congress's strike rate is only 9% in the 2019 elections. 19% of vote share in the last election, general elections gone by. They won only 8% of the seats in a direct contest with the BJP. This is the biggest Achilles heel of the Congress party. There are 93 seats, mind you, where the Congress has lost the last 4 elections. So their ability to come back to power is also looking very, very circumspect. There is no Congress Rajya Sabha MP today in 17 states. They are just no longer holding that kind of length and breadth of the country as they used to. It also recently, let's not forget, registered its worst performance in Gujarat in the elections gone by last year. So why should others accept Congress as a leader? Take a look at how Congress and other opposition leaders also keep fighting each other. Rahul Gandhi has only recently said that TMC is corrupt. They have brought violent politics in Bengal. This is while campaigning in the Northeast. He has also gone on to say that TRS is BJP's B team, AIMIM is BJP's C team. They just do not see eye to eye. Mamta Banerjee, TMC chief, has said that the Congress has no moral right to seek votes. Remember, her nephew Abhishek Banerjee had said in the past that a vote for the Congress is a vote for the BJP. Akhilesh Yadav of the Samajwadi Party has recently snubbed the Congress as far as the Bharat Jodo Yatra is concerned. He says Congress and the BJP are the same. Mayawati, BSP. Congress is biased against Dalits and BSP. She also reminded them Dalit ki beti was attacked during SP's rule. So remember, they came together in the past, but we all know that that's just not going to happen again. Arvind Kejriwal of the Aam Aadmi Party, he has said that Rahul Gandhi is enough to weaken the Congress. They fought the Congress bitterly in the Gujarat elections. It's not just about party ambitions or positions though. There are also personal ambitions. Everyone wants to be the next PM contender. Rahul Gandhi from the Congress party, the party is unclear about the face, but he is clearly the biggest name. Arvind Kejriwal, he is eyeing a national role after the Aam Aadmi Party won majority in 2 assemblies in the country. K. Chandrasekhar Rao, he has bared his national ambitions. He has renamed his party to Bharat Rashtriya Samiti. Mamta Banerjee has national ambitions. She is one of the strongest regional satraps, but her ambitions did get a jolt after TMC's poor show in Goa. Nitish Kumar, he's a popular OBC face, old and experienced, but not really trusted by many, also doesn't have much pull outside of Bihar on his own. Ultimately, even if they overcame all of those hurdles, here's the numbers game. The BJP plus the current allies, the NDA in other words, have 331 seats. UPA has 109 parties opposed to the BJP, but with personal ambitions like the Congress has, like the TMC, BRS, etc. They have about 61. Parties that have a history of siding with the BJP have 37, but they're not allies today. Even if I put that in the other camp, so if I give UPA plus those that are more Congress-minded but also have issues, plus those who have a history with the BJP in the past, that stands at 207 currently in the Lok Sabha today. Exactly how are these parties in a position to unseat the BJP? Even if all of them come together, even that frankly happening is a far-fetched dream, pre or poll-post alliance. So the big debate that's coming up today, even as Mallikarjun Kharge declares that they will lead an opposition alliance, is the Congress out of touch of its own standing and ground reality?
Government will come in center. Congress will lead. We are talking with other parties.
देश देख रहा है एक अकेला कितनों को भारी पड़ रहा है। एक कन्विक्शन के कारण चला हूं। देश के लिए जीता हूं। देश के लिए कुछ करने के लिए निकला हुआ हूं।
If you vote for TMC, vote for TMC, and it's a challenge that we will defeat BJP in the 24 election. It is our commitment and credibility.
The violence that takes place in Bengal, they came to Goa, spent huge amounts of money in Goa, and the idea was to help the BJP.
Let's go across to the guests who are joining us and discuss the big update that's coming in as far as the Congress party is concerned. Salman Soz of the Congress is joining us, Neeti Jain of the BJP. I'm also joined by Ravula Sridhar Reddy, senior BRS leader, and some more guests are joining us in just a bit. I want to begin with Mr. Reddy itself. You've been on this show before to discuss exactly what is this opposition unity and alliance that is going to come into force ahead of 2024. The BRS wants to stitch so-called third front. What do you make of Mallikarjun Kharge's statement today? He, Jairam Ramesh, all of the Congress leaders believe there is no hope for regional parties unless you come under the umbrella of the Congress party.
That is, Congress opinion. If that is right, if they are strong on that particular opinion, what happened in 2014 and 2018? Could Congress form the government in this country? So, if they say that there is no hope for the regional parties, that is their opinion. But we don't have to worry about it. And we never said we are going to form a front, but definitely we work for the opposition unity. At the same time, our leader has made it very clear, at this juncture, it is not about joining few political parties, making a front, or joining, gathering few leaders and all that. We wanted a debate in this country on the alternative politics in this country and an alternative development model in the country and how to utilize the resources optimally and make it useful to the country's benefit and development.
Okay.
This is what we wanted, and Congress and BJP wanted the same kind of discussion today. And the country is not about BJP and Congress. Today, the ultimate need is to debate.
But Mr. Reddy, won't you say the time to debate is practically over? It's just 1 year to go ahead of the next general election. Some sort of formula and strategy has to come into place. Isn't the Congress party also right when it says that it is the only national alternative to the BJP and other parties have to come together with the Congress to defeat the BJP?
If people of this country would have thought so, they would have given the opportunity in 2018 at least, when they lost the power in 2014. So it is not my basic idea to say Congress is not suitable or Congress is not alternative. That's not my job. I can only tell you at this point in time, we are here to propose a strong alternate to BJP, a model which will work for the development of the country. And our leader wants to go to the national space, and we want to go to every place in this country and let the people debate and discuss on the failures of Narendra Modi and what is needed from the opposition today as an alternative, to form the government in 2023. That is what at this juncture it is needed. And a right point in time, an appropriate time, the unity will come, the numbers will work out, the arithmetic will come, and people will definitely, choose their leader.
Okay,
who
but
will be the Prime Minister of this
one
country.
thing is
It
clear,
not a
that
presidential
some
election.
sort of alliance needs to be made. If all of these parties have to come together and beat the BJP, it can only happen when there is some sort of alliance. I believe Dr. Shantanu Sen of the TMC is also with us. Before I go across to our Congress and BJP representatives, let's see if I can get a comment from him as well. Dr. Shantanu Sen, if you can hear me, some sort of arrangement has to be made. And there is currently no other option. Mallikarjun Kharge says, but for parties like you to come together with the Congress party, and the Congress has to lead that national alliance against the BJP.
See, our stand is very clear. First of all, I would like to remind you, if Congress would not have come to 44 from 450, which they got once upon a time, then we would not have seen this misrule of this BJP government, number one. Number two, we have seen the way this Congress party is falling like house of cards. In one way, they are having Bharat Jodo Jatra. On the other hand, the senior leaders like Ghulam Nabi Azad and many more, they are leaving the party. Number three, in several states like Madhya Pradesh, like Goa, we have seen the way the elected representatives of Congress, they are getting sold out to BJP. My submission is, our stand is very clear. All India Trinamool Congress said the prior target is to oust BJP from this country to give a social, real, political and economic freedom to the people of India. And for the same in a particular state, the party which can take BJP head on, these parties should be supported by other oppositions.
So you believe
like
that
in our
is?
state, it's only All India Trinamool Congress. In Delhi, it's up. In Uttar Pradesh, it's Samajwadi Party, so on and so forth. And after the election, there should be a post-poll alliance where the people of country at large will decide who is going to lead the country.
Okay. So if,
But
if all of these parties then get good enough numbers, then you will come together post-elections and decide who the Prime Minister is going to be.
One more point, and Congress should keep it in mind that yes, we also want to oust BJP, but we are not ready to tolerate the elder brotherly attitude of this Congress party.
Okay. I think you've set it up perfectly. Salman Soz, you've heard from parties, the likes of parties who have good regional strength, the BRS and the TMC, and they're very clear about how they see the Congress party today.
Well, of course, it is their prerogative to view the Congress party or any other party the way they feel is best from their perspective. But, like my TMC colleague, friend said, I think opposition unity cannot be built if we target each other. I know that he talked about Ghulam Nabi Azad Sahab, who left our party, but in West Bengal, the leadership of the BJP is from the TMC. And we know how these things happen. He knows how these things happen, how the government and its allies in the, I know the Prime Minister says he's walking by himself, but he's got his ED and CBI and income tax and News18 and other media. So these things happen. We know how these things happen. We should not blame each other for that, I think. That is my humble submission to my TMC colleague. But as far as opposition unity is concerned, the Congress party, the party president, Kharge ji, all he has said is a factual statement. The factual statement is that opposition unity cannot just be created out of nothing. It has to have some core. And whether we like it or not, the Congress party has the biggest vote share by far and has the biggest footprint by far of any political party in the
opposition. But you don't win the battles versus the BJP. You don't win those battles versus the BJP. That's what the opposition leaders are saying. If they were to leave some seats for you in a contest with the BJP, you will not win. Just one second, Salman Soz.
I'm coming to that.
No, one second. Abhishek Banerjee has just tweeted a few minutes ago as we debate this. I'll just read that out to you. You comment on that. He's saying the INC has failed to resist the BJP. The irrelevance, incompetence and insecurity has put them in a state of delirium. Look at the words he is using for you. I urge Rahul Gandhi to revisit their politics of vanity instead of attacking us. This is because they're campaigning in the Northeast. And all these parties are attacking each other. Our growth isn't driven by money. It is people's love that propels us. He's hitting back at what Rahul Gandhi said earlier today. I played out that comment as well. Yes, Salman Soz, respond to this. They don't like this attitude, elderly, brotherly attitude that Shantanu Sen is talking about.
People may like things, people may dislike things. They're free to do so. At the same time, he may even say that we're not resisting. We are the party that actually came out with the biggest political march that at least I've seen in my lifetime, and I'm sure everybody else, so that we go and talk to people about the issues that confront them.
And then
day in and day out. Wait a second. Day in and day out, the Congress party
Mr. Salman,
is the only
I would like
party.
to remind you.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Then you can remind me of a lot of things. Let me finish. I'm saying that day in and day out, our party spokespersons, our party leaders are holding the government accountable for all of the things that this government is doing, all of the misrule, from the Adani scam to anything that you talk about. Who's doing it? It's the Congress party standing firm. Where are the other parties? We welcome their support. We want to work with all the opposition parties, and this is not about our elderly brother attitude and other things. We genuinely want to work with everybody in the opposition who's genuinely opposed to the BJP.
No, but you want that because you ultimately believe that you will have the upper hand as and when the election results come. You will not make somebody else the Prime Minister.
Wait a second. We believe as a party that the most important thing is for us to oust this government. Whoever is genuinely opposed to the RSS and the BJP, we'll have a platform and we'll share it with them.
Okay.
Prime Ministership and other things, those things come later.
Can I just remind you, Jairam Ramesh just a few days ago said, I think it was a taunt against the TMC, that these are two-faced parties. They say one thing in our meetings and they go and do something else. With so much distrust, I don't know how you guys are going to come together. Neeti, just hold on with me for 2 more minutes. Mr. Reddy wanted to intervene and respond to Mr. Soz. Yes, very quickly, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you, Salman Sozji, that, all through the Bharat Joda Yatra, Congress leaders were kept on saying, this is not this is not a political yatra and all. We just wanted to unite people and all. They never had any political agenda during this yatra at all. And Congress could not stand as an alternative in the past 2 terms. And they have miserably failed. Congress and BJP, two sides of the same coin. And Congress failed the country for 60 years. Now for the past 9 years, rather 8.5 years, the BJP is failing this country in all aspects. And both the parties have failed to meet the aspirations of the country. No, we need, and people of the country started looking beyond these two political parties.
Brother Reddy, if the Congress party has failed, my brother,
a right alternative to the country, a right alternative model. Both parties have failed the country miserably. They could not create proper employment. They could not use the resources properly. And there are many issues that they could not handle properly. So at this point in time, the country needs a strong alternative political force, which will come in right point in time.
Let him respond now. Let him respond.
My brother, Mr. Reddy, if the Congress and its ideology had failed, then how would so many parties, including yours, that actually came from the Congress party, where actually the seed is the same?
They have not came from the Congress
party.
The
seed is the same. In some ways, the Congress party has been very successful because the Congress party has spread so far and wide with other parties like yours, with TMC. The one in Andhra Pradesh.
Our party born out of the people's aspirations to form a separate Telangana. Now we wanted to work for the country. So we have changed the name to Bharat Rashtra Samiti.
Yes,
we are totally a different.
You're welcome to change the name.
It's not about Congress party. We have not come from Congress party. You are wrongly informed.
Okay, can I come in?
In many respects, Congress party has succeeded beyond your imagination, but we have also many difficulties which we are trying to overcome, and we hope to overcome them with like-minded parties.
Yeah, but you keep making those same mistakes. That is one of the big criticisms against the Congress party. You haven't learned since 2014. How long is everybody going to wait for you to assume your position? The Congress believes it is by default meant to be in power. Niti Jain, how are you looking at all of this?
Shivani, I think this debate portrays the current political scenario. The different parties in the opposition can fight it out among themselves. I think we'll just sit on the side and do the work that we have been doing for the past 9 years, and we continue to do that. That said, I think the Congress has made this promise in 2014 and 19. I think they need to tell us now and tell us, not the BJP, as the citizens of this country. I think they need to tell us what is so different going forward in 2024. I think they've lost credibility if not gained anything out of that. So I think that is one thing that they need to tell us. Two, if they go to the to the different parties, they need to go with some numbers and credibility. They have 2 states where they are they're ruling right now, and they lost in the entire country.
3 states
and
now.
Wherever
3
they
states.
are, they have a huge amount of infighting that is going on within their party. So वो अपनी party का alliance तो बना नहीं पा रहे. They're trying to make an alliance in an entire country. They could not find a Congress party president for 3 years. And that is the state of Congress party within. So if they have ambitions as a citizen of this country, I think I've always maintained we need a strong opposition, an opposition that can question on policies, and they can have constructive debates on the development of this country. But it is not our job to help them make that coalition or
Obviously
in
not.
any other way.
But would you
I
not
think,
prefer the Congress lead this alliance, given that you are always more comfortable fighting the Congress? You are not as comfortable fighting the TMC, for example. The Aam Aadmi Party, for example, barring of course what happened in Gujarat, they were too ambitious. But there is the BRS, there is the DMK. In many of these states, the BJP finds it hard to fight these regional parties.
Right. So, one, I am not going to comment on who should be the leader of the opposition alliance. I think it is for them to decide on that factor. The second thing, I think today and with the current global scenario going forward, Modi ji remains the national leader who can emerge as somebody who is working for the country, who is a national and an international figure who's trustworthy not just in the country but outside the country as well. So I think the citizens of this country understand the global scenario and they know what they want for the country. So the infighting within the Congress party and with the alliances is not the BJP's problem at all. Our issue is to work for the development of the country, and that is what we have been doing. So the opposition can
so you are
find out
saying
what they need to
despite
do
10
between
years,
themselves.
there is absolutely no anti-incumbency against Narendra Modi as the head of the central government. Whatever happens in states is slightly different. Shantanu Sen, I want to come to you with exactly that. You know, you are boisterous because you won West Bengal for a 3rd time and won it convincingly against the BJP, although they improved by a few thousand% their seats from 3 to 70 plus. That does not mean that people look at Mamata Banerjee as a prime ministerial candidate. That's the reality.
Have you ever heard Madam Mamata Banerjee speaking that she wants to be prime minister? Rather, she is the only leader in the country who has categorically said, if needed, I am ready to stand at the being the last person of the queue. But my first target is to oust BJP. Have you ever seen any Trinamool Congress leader saying that, yes, Madam Mamata Banerjee is fighting only for becoming Prime Minister? But the practical scenario says that Madam Mamata Banerjee, Trinamool Congress, whenever we have taken BJP head on, in most of the cases we have defeated BJP. Unlike Congress, where they themselves got defeated.
But so then why would you come out and say the Congress has an elderly brother attitude if you don't mind that?
Once again I repeat, yes, we want an united opposition, but if a party thinks that they are the elder brother to others, then we are not ready to accept that. Definitely we believe in united opposition, everyone should oppose unitedly, that's fine, fair enough. Once again I repeat our stand. In a particular state, the political party who is competent enough to fight back BJP, that party should be supported in that particular state.
Okay, so what do you mean by that? Mr. Sen, Abhishek Banerjee also pointed out how Congress came and fought 90 seats in Bengal. Why did they do so? Was it to help the BJP? We know though the Congress barely mattered as far as the Bengal elections are concerned. They were completely routed out. Derek
Yes,
O'Brien
of course,
but explain, no, once again, explain to me, when you say, let's say, I assume all of you are able to come together, see eye to eye for a larger goal of beating the BJP and booting them out. You come together. How does this work? TMC fights BJP in West Bengal? Nobody else fights in West Bengal? Is that what you're suggesting then?
Let me tell you the fact. We have defeated CPM. Congress was fighting against CPM for 34 years. And now that Congress, which is having 0 seat in our West Bengal State Assembly, they have shaken hands with CPM to fight against Trinamool Congress. What is the proof? What does it prove? CPM was the main enemy of Congress. We all were in Congress. We defeated CPM. Now to defeat Trinamool Congress, Congress is holding hand of CPIM.
Okay.
And those two parties are having 0 seats in West Bengal Legislative Assembly. Does it
No,
prove that they
answer.
are really interested
I
to
get
fight
that
the
point, but
BJP?
answer my question.
Or
How does this so-called opposition unity work? How are you going to divide your seats? You're going to basically tell the Congress stay away from West Bengal. Let us fight the BJP in West Bengal. Am I right?
Shivani, one thing I
because
want to
Congress has
add.
no role here in the state of West Bengal. They are big 0 here.
But Congress will say the
Shivani.
same when you go to other states then. Why do you go to other states?
Shivani,
Whenever there is
you
any
will-
gap, whenever there is any vacuum, whenever
And
we
then
feel
who
that
becomes
Congress
the
is unable
leader
to
of
fight
this
the
united
BJP?
alliance if that is ever to form?
That is post-poll, Niti. That they will decide depending on
Shivani.
what the results are.
Have
Yes,
you ever
Mr.
gone
Reddy
to-
wants to
have
come
you
in.
ever gone
And
to
then Mr.
Delhi?
Soz as well. Yes, Mr.
Have
Reddy.
you ever gone to Delhi? Have you ever
even
gone to Gujarat?
even BJP runs an NDA government.
Hmm.
They also have to have many political parties representing them in various states. So, forming a proper opposition unity is not a big deal.
No,
That is
sir,
what
it's
we are
not
trying to tell
comparable.
you.
Mr. Reddy, how
We will-
can you compare today's situation in the opposition to what the
Why-
BJP
why
and
do
the
you
NDA
think
have?
so?
The BJP
See,
alone has majority.
At this point in time, they may have a majority, but 2024, rather 24, will not be the same case. You will see that. And they are overconfident today. A party, a prime minister who cannot even answer in the parliament of various issues, cannot even face the, press, which is a, general responsibility of the prime minister to attend press conferences, answer the nation. So they are overconfident today. They will also learn the lessons in the
Okay.
days to come.
So I think he's
The argument
answering
will
the
work out in
nation the
appropriate
way he
time.
wants to with the work that he's done. And
No,
if
that's
that
not
is
the
not
way-
an
I'm
answer
sorry,
that
that's
is
not- can you just
acceptable
tell
to
me-
you, I
The way
think as a
prime
country
ministers
the
have
people
done.
The
are
highest
accepting that
inflation-
answer.
No democratic leader.
No,
Highest
sir,
inflation,
the point is you
highest
are an
unemployment
opposition
rate,
that does not let the parliament
highest industrial
function.
growth,
You don't know how to
low
have a
economic
constructive
growth,
debate on the
Press.
matters of this country.
and
You people have not let
high
the
fuel
parliament function
prices,
in subsequent sessions.
highest prices
So please
of
don't question the
essential
government
items
as an
to fail
opposition.
this
You
country
need to
miserably.
answer the country
I am
as to
questioning
why
you.
is
Where is the
it why is
employment?
it that the parliament
Where
does
is the
not
employment?
function. You have no
Why you don't
points
address
to
the
have a
inflation
constructive
issues?
debate on any important matter in
That's
this
what I'm trying to
country.
tell you.
Okay.
Let's have a constructive debate. Accept articulated speeches, nice nomenclature.
So then stop
Your leader could not do
letting,
anything.
at least
I'm
start letting
questioning
the
you.
parliament function.
Did your finance minister
Start
answer?
letting the parliament function. All you
Why
guys
did
do
you-
is narebazi in the parliament. That is not
Okay,
what the
can
job
I
of
just
the
come in?
opposition
Can I just
is.
come in?
And which
Can
is
I
what
just
I'm
come in?
saying.
The Prime
One second.
Minister answered in
Mr.
an
Reddy,
issue.
Mr. Reddy, please hold back for a minute. I think you've made your point, but my fundamental question is, all of this has been said about Narendra Modi. It was said ahead of 2019 too. Look at what happened. They came back with a bigger mandate. And many believe, political pundits believe that the BJP hasn't quite hit its ceiling. It's expected they will lose some seats somewhere. They could gain somewhere else too. But I have a minute left. Just for being fair, let me give Salman Soz a word here too.
Look,
Salman, here's my question. As far as the challenge of the BJP is concerned, they're looking as strong as ever. So a lot of this, that if we come together, they'll be reduced to this much. If we come together, people will vote for the alternative. Then we'll figure it out later after the results. All of that sounds like wishful thinking.
No, I think what it seems to me is perhaps some in the media might be thinking that the good days will continue, and the good days are only for a few people in this country and for the Indian media, for the mainstream media. Otherwise, good days are not for Achhe, they are for nobody else. But let me just say that the kind of
So it is not these three people that vote in the elections. We are coming back in.
Mr. Modi,
Niti,
the
let him
kind
finish.
of joblessness that we see in this country, I think that is going to bite them big time in 2024. What happened in 2019 is unlikely to repeat in 2024. That is what I feel. That
Well,
is what
before
many people have told
2024,
us.
fair
That
enough,
is
but
what
before
many people have told
2024,
us.
there are a lot of key elections in 2023 too.
And
If the
we're
Congress
fighting that.
doesn't manage to pull up its socks, I'm not sure you're going to be the fulcrum of the opposition unity.
Well, we are fighting as hard as we can, and let's see what the results are. Maybe then you'll maybe have a different tune in a couple of months.
Okay. Niti, final 30 seconds, please.
I think the Congress needs to wake up and smell the coffee. They can keep saying that it is only, and now the media is also involved in this entire gaining out of the BJP angle. But the point is that it is not just three people that vote in elections. State after
Everybody
state,
knows
the
it.
BJP has been strong and the people have been reposing their faith in the BJP. And that is what you need to wake up and smell that coffee,
is the
sir.
case.
That is all I'd like to say.
Okay,
The
I will
alliance
leave it at
is
that.
your job. I am not going to comment.
We need to see
We
some
smell the
action as
coffee,
far as
we
this
smell
opposition
the
unity
Adani
is
coffee now,
concerned.
and we are
Right
fully
now,
aware.
they're having some meetings off and on, but actually they're also charging each other for not really being on the same page. So we've got barely any time. You need time to send that message to the public as well. You'll need some sort of common program that you can talk about. You cannot talk about various issues which you don't see eye to eye on. I've run out of time for today, but of course we'll continue to debate this as the elections draw closer. Shifting our attention to the national capital now, after several ugly clashes in the MCD house earlier on 3 different occasions, the Delhi mayor was finally elected today. The Aam Aadmi Party came out victorious, with Shelley Oberoi getting elected as mayor. Of the total polled votes, 266, the Aam Aadmi Party received 150 and the BJP 116. Remember, the mayoral election was conducted following a Supreme Court order which disallowed nominated members from voting, which was one of the issues that was creating an impasse. But even as there was that victory for the Aam Aadmi Party, there is further trouble for them and their government in the national capital. Delhi's Snoopgate saga escalated as the Ministry of Home Affairs gave sanction to prosecute Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia under Prevention of Corruption Act for the feedback unit snooping case. This comes as Sisodia is already on the radar of the CBI in the liquor policy case. The Aam Aadmi Party has slammed the central government, claiming that this is pure political vendetta, while Delhi BJP has accused the AAP of spying on political rivals. A quick reminder of what the Snoopgate charge is. A feedback unit was set up by the Aam Aadmi Party soon after it came to power in 2015. This was meant to track departments and institutions under Delhi government jurisdiction, but CBI preliminary report said the FBU also snooped on political entities, persons and issues with interest to the Aam Aadmi Party. It said during 8 months of active existence that they know of, the FBU investigated 700 cases. 60% of those cases were political in nature and not vigilance related. This is another headache for the Aam Aadmi Party, already facing serious charges with serious consequences. Even as they continue to play victim, the charges are grave. Liquorgate, Manish Sisodia, the top name accused of getting kickbacks from liquor barons. DTC bus scam, a probe into irregularities in purchase of buses and ignoring the lowest bidder. Classroom Gate, Delhi government's own vigilance report saying 1,300 crore rupees scam in construction of classrooms and toilets. Money laundering case against one of their ministers who continues to be a sitting minister in the cabinet, Satyendra Jain, who's been in jail since June 2022. The advertisement case where the Aam Aadmi Party, after it came to power, was accused of running political ads on state exchequer money and has been asked to now return money up to 163 crore rupees. So the big question that we're asking, is this going to be further trouble for Manish Sisodia and with it the Aam Aadmi Party and government?
मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि ये राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा का मामला है और मनीष सिसोदिया को सीबीआई तुरंत गिरफ्तार करे और इस जासूसी कांड की तह तक जाए और अरविंद केजरीवाल को भी इस जांच के दायरे में लाया जाए, ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की मांग है.
I think that approximately 200 cases have been registered against Aam Aadmi Party in the last 8 years. So we have now reached the 201st case as well. What does it show? It shows that the BJP is scared of Aam Aadmi Party, of Arvind Kejriwal, and that is why one false case after another is being filed. In these last 8 years, Has BJP been able to present the evidence of corruption of even 1 rupee by Aam Aadmi Party? No, they have not. So it's very clear they are scared by the growing popularity of Aam Aadmi Party.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी निश्चित तौर के ऊपर कई मौकों के ऊपर ये बात उठाती हुई आई थी कि इल्लीगल तरीके से जिस प्रकार से अरविंद केजरीवाल मनीष सिसोदिया ने एक यूनिट बनाया और उसके अंदर कैमरास खरीदे गए और तमाम अफसरों को अपॉइंट किया गया था इल्लीगल तरीके से। सवाल उठता है, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, आपने सीक्रेट सर्विस फंड क्यों बनाया था?
अपने प्रतिद्वंदियों को झूठों केस में फंसाना जो है ये हारे हुए और डरे हुए लोगों का काम होता है। अब जैसे जैसे आम आदमी पार्टी आगे बढ़ेगी इस तरीके के और केस जो है झूठे केस हम पे लगाए जाएंगे। ये केस बिल्कुल झूठा है। मुझे लगता है कि ये सिर्फ आम आदमी पार्टी और मनीष जी के पीछे पड़े हुए हैं।
ये चौथा मामला है भ्रष्टाचार का जिसमें मनीष सिसोदिया जांच के घेरे में है। उनके ऊपर भ्रष्टाचार के आरोपों की जांच हो रही है, लेकिन शायद वो सत्येंद्र जैन की तरह कुर्सी छोड़ेंगे नहीं, बल्कि कुर्सी में बैठे बैठे ही तिहाड़ जेल जाएंगे। मैं यहां पर यह बात कहना चाहता हूं कि ये जो स्नूपिंग केस है, इस केस के सच जब सामने आएंगे तो बहुत सारे लोगों को हैरानी होने वाली है, क्योंकि आम आदमी पार्टी में केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया ने सरकार की स्नूपिंग मशीनरी तैयार की अपने ही पार्टी के पीएसी के मेंबर्स के जासूसी करने के लिए।
पूरी तरह से फर्जी केस है। ये लोग पूरी तरह से आम आदमी पार्टी और मनीष जी के पीछे पड़ गए हैं। अडानी के ऊपर जांच नहीं होती, उसने लाखों करोड़ों रुपए का घोटाला किया, उसके ऊपर कोई जांच नहीं हो रही है। सिर्फ और सिर्फ आम आदमी पार्टी और मनीष जी के पीछे पड़ चुके हैं। जैसे जैसे आम आदमी पार्टी बढ़ती चली जा रही है, ये लगातार आम आदमी पार्टी को टारगेट कर रहे हैं। आज पूरे देश में सबको पता है भाई कि मोदी जी को टक्कर केजरीवाल जी दे सकते हैं। सिर्फ इस डर से ये लगातार फर्जी केसेस कर रहे हैं और इस तरह के केसेस और भी बढ़ेंगे।
Vineet Goenka of the BJP joining us. Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, leans towards the Aam Aadmi Party also with us. The Aam Aadmi Party declined to be part of this discussion and debate. But Ravi Srivastava, how long will the victim card work? These are all serious charges. The liquor policy existed. The government took it back. There was an investigation within the Delhi government itself that blew the whistle. Classroom Gate, Delhi Vigilance Department itself. The FBU unit existed. There was a member of the Vigilance Department that blew the whistle, and then the CBI conducted this preliminary inquiry. How long is Manish Sisodia and the Aam Aadmi Party going to play victim?
Shivani, let the list grow further. I think you have heard the Aam Aadmi Party representatives and spokespersons who have said it, that BJP is rattled because not one, not two, not three, 4 consequent defeats in Delhi has made them lose their mental balance completely. And they are using the more loyal to the king, that LG, Vinay Kumar Saxena, and CBI and ED and all. This is not a chart which I am making. Every opposition party says that they use these constitutional agencies for investigation and all that. I think these are all in the realm of speculation. Let anything come on the in the form of a charge sheet, or let it come in front of the honorable courts. The whole thing will clear. This is what Atishi was saying. 200 cases are already there, and out of that, in 130, the Aam Aadmi Party office bearers or MLAs or they have been absolved, and even the court has reprimanded the prosecution that you should not make these fake, flimsy basis.
No, these aren't quite fake and flimsy charges. Once again, these are not quite fake and flimsy charges. A lot of charges get thrown about in political bickering. For example, Manish Sisodia said he had tapes of how BJP was poaching him. We've never heard of that tape, by the way. He said this publicly. When CBI registers a complaint, they don't quite do it on fake and flimsy charges. I hope you will agree at least to that much. But Vineet Goenka, the reality also is you've been trying that something sticks. So far, barring, let's say, the case of Satyendra Jain, which is more at an individual level, not much has stuck. We don't really know where these investigations will go either.
Shivanaji, Ram Ram to you, to my co-panelists and all the audience who are watching this particular part.
No,
It's a sad day for
Walaikum assalam. I said Walaikum assalam. Walaikum assalam, sir.
Okay.
Walaikum assalam.
Okay, why are you getting so agitated?
Walaikum assalam. No, he has a habit of saying it.
So that's his habit. What's your problem?
Another way. My habit is this, so I express my habit as well.
Yeah, you remembered your habit quite belatedly, but anyways, go ahead, Vinit Goenka.
No, I did not. The moment he said it, I responded.
He always says it. That's his way of saying hello, welcome. What's the problem?
Yeah, no, he will get that response now.
Okay, I want to leave that aside. Vinit Goenka, please let's focus on the issue.
Yeah. So this is a dark day for democracy, where a state government decides to spy on its rivals, its political opponents, and the citizens by doing something which they were warned not to do it. I'll give the dates for benefit of your audience. On 12th January 2023, when the CBI got its approval to prosecute this, we just thought we should go through the sequences, and we saw one of the document of August 2015, where the then LG Najib Jung had rejected and objected on this particular scheme of something called as feedback unit, because he said this will be illegal, not constitutional. Yet they went ahead on 1st February 2016 and established this particular spying mechanism without having an administrative approval, neither having a financial approval, on the basis of their own meeting, which is illegal and unconstitutional. And for your benefits of your audience, they should know that 17 former police officers were recruited from Bihar. There were people at very, very senior level. It was headed by somebody at the level of ex-DIG of CISF. More than a dozen of senior officers were there. Now, the point which hurts is that they created a fund called as Secret Service Fund. Now, I have never heard any state government doing this, not only in India, but across the world. Provincial governments don't do that particular part. Not only this, the secret funds allowed the state government, and they made payments in cash to individuals, agencies, and private organizations without having proper records and documentation. Now, which falls under the category of investigation. Now, they also paid funds to informers and people who would create espionage for themselves. On September 2016, Vigilance Department of Delhi government, I repeat, Delhi government objected to this. Shri Ashwini Kumar, then Director of Vigilance, asked for account of work, which is a due diligence which has to be done by every department. But this API did not submit a single report. When CBI started investigating this particular part, they found out that more than 700 reports were submitted to the Chief Minister of Delhi, that is Arvind Kejriwal, in private.
Shivani, can
now,
I respond?
most of them are on the individuals who are political opponents. Number two, the government did this with an intention to have vigilance, surveillance, and also spying and snooping on the political opponent.
No, you've listed out all the problems. As I said, Vinit Goenka, the charges are very grave. The unit existed. There are preliminary charges, of course, of the fact that not only was it illegal, unconstitutionally set up, the hiring for it was done in a manner that cannot be approved, and 3 LGs in Delhi have opposed to it. They also went ahead and snooped on political rivals. Yes, finish very quickly.
No, 30 seconds. Not only that they snooped, but they also used this to blackmail and also wasted public money and time. So
but all of that has to be proved. Vinit Goenka, fundamentally the point is all of this has to be proved. You didn't answer my question. I am not saying the charges are not grave. The charges are grave in liquor policy also, classroom gate also, in all of these alleged scams. But nothing has stuck so far. You have to prove before you allege that somebody is corrupt.
Thank you for bringing this up. That shows that investigation agencies are not under any duress or any pressure from anybody. They're doing their job. This came up first in August 2015. They have put this up, so much of time has been taken so that the case is watertight. Number one, when Satyendra Jain was arrested, they said he will come out in 7 days particularly. Then you have seen how the court has reacted. And we all now know that Satyendra Jain, or whether it is Sisodia, they will be facing these particular charges. I just hope that Manish Sisodia also does not join Satyendra Jain in same jail and operate from there. I would request through your channel to Aam Aadmi Party, they should resign. The Chief Minister, the Deputy Chief Minister should take cognizance of this particular part, resign, and let there be a fair investigation.
But what about the charge that you use central agencies to malign your political opponents? They get mired in these cases. Nothing really comes of it. Look at the case,
if they can just tell us whether
against Sonia Gandhi, Robert Vadra, Rahul Gandhi. What has happened of those cases?
Of course, the cases would have. Let me stick to this particular case because it falls under the Delhi this thing, and I'm here to speak on that particular part. Now, in this particular case,
Shivani,
it is true
allow
that
me
they
to-
have
One second.
Allow me to.
One second,
Allow
one
me to
second.
give
Let
a
him
brief
finish. I'll come to you.
Yeah. So when they have created this secret fund, what is the reason they have created this? Against the will of the LG, against getting the administrative permissions. Why they have not put to the assembly? It was required that every discussion and decision on this kind of
Okay,
thing should
fair
have been
enough.
done.
I need to give Ravi Srivastava some
There are
time now.
two departments already in Delhi.
Okay, I
Vigilance
need to
is-
give Ravi Srivastava some time now. Ravi Srivastava, the point is this, that there are serious allegations or charges coming in, and there is a pattern that is emerging that a lot of the Aam Aadmi Party, either in its haste after it came to power, or because it came with some radical agenda that we will change the way governance is, they ended up doing a lot of things that is now coming back to haunt them. I remember the Office for Profits issue also that they faced soon after coming to power, and they said, oh, we didn't know. But ignorance of law is not an excuse. The point is you need to own up.
Yeah, Raviji being a proxy, how would you know?
No, Shivani. No, that is not your problem. That is the problem of the channel. Who have
Okay,
called me.
go ahead,
Okay,
please.
You don't bother about it.
Raviji, answer my question.
No.
There needs to be
I'm
accountability.
answering
The Aam Aadmi Party
Yeah.
has now been in power in Delhi for roughly 10 years. You cannot run away with everything by suggesting political vendetta.
Nobody is running
Raviji,
away.
when I said Ram, you said something. I didn't hear that.
Yaar,
One second,
come on,
one
yaar.
second.
Can you keep quiet or not? Or why you are so agitated? You cannot touch any person. You just cannot do it. You keep on smiling or do whatever you want.
Please come back to
8-year-old
the
case
issue.
You have brought out from the cold storage. And why? Because on Friday, you were kicked hard on your back by the Honorable Supreme Court. For
Raviji,
allowing
why are you
those people
agitated
to
and
vote for
yelling? You can say the same thing in soft voice.
their
This is national
election.
channel
So
here.
now, again, your vendetta has risen up. And again, you have started bringing up the old cases to embarrass Aam Aadmi Party.
Even
You
if
won't
it is
get anything
old,
out
no,
of
come
it.
back. No, Ravi Srivastava, even if it is old, the
Raviji,
Aam
is
Aadmi
it
Party,
true that
one
the
second,
money was
Vinit
taken out of the system in cash?
Goenka, you got a lot of time. Please do not speak over me now. Ravi Srivastava,
Shivani.
even if it is old or new or current or not, ultimately the Aam Aadmi
Shivani.
Party that came to power on the back of anti-corruption movement cannot run away with charges of corruption. That's the central point.
Exactly. That is what I am replying. Nobody is running away.
They
Manish
don't answer
Sisodia
any
has-
specifics.
No.
The Aam Aadmi
They are
Party doesn't
answering.
answer any specifics.
Manish Sisodia has said clearly, you arrest me. Why don't you arrest him?
That's not an answer to the
You
charges.
take some action. So charges are not replied on the media channel. Charges will be replied in the court of law or when charge sheet is filed. You can keep on making a number of allegations.
So you think in
but that
governance
does not
there is
hold
no
anything.
public accountability? You will
These are-
only respond in court of law?
These are fake charges, fake, baseless, concocted charges.
Who
So how
has
somebody can
you can't
respond
turn
to
them
that?
fake. That's exactly my
I'm telling-
point.
I am coming to your point that was a feedback unit for the government schemes to take a feedback from the people. Now you have got a different version that it was a snooping. So come on, prove it with the incontrovertible evidence before the Honorable Court of Law, and we'll face the punishment for that. So where is the problem?
Okay.
Just
We'll leave it
to
at that.
malign
Let's
a
just
party,
see exactly
just
what
to
happens as
embarrass
far
the
as
people.
this
You're
particular
doing it.
case is concerned. Because Manish Sisodia was at the helm of the ministry under which this came, he's the one who's currently under dock. Could this become an albatross around the neck for the Aam Aadmi Party government? We'll have to wait and see. Time for a very short break now. After Nikki Haley, Indian origin Vivek Ramaswamy is now in the bid for the Republican presidential bid in the US for 2024. Who is this man exactly? We'll tell you more on the other side.
False case. The feedback unit was stopped after 6-7 months only, and is trying to say that they were snooping via that particular unit on the people and the other politicians, the BJP politicians and others. This is absolutely baseless, concocted, fabricated, and not going to stand the scrutiny of law.
There's more trouble for Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia in the snooping case. According to LG office sources to CNN News18, the Ministry of Home Affairs has now given sanction to prosecute Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia under the Prevention of Corruption Act in the Feedback Unit snooping case in Delhi. LGVK Saxena had approved the CBI's request for prosecution sanction and forwarded the same to the Ministry of Home Affairs. The CBI had sought sanction to register FIR against Sisodia, who heads the Vigilance Department of Delhi government, under which the AAP government had in 2015 surreptitiously created the FBU, an extra-constitutional, extrajudicial intelligence agency to spy over different ministries, opposition political parties, entities and individuals. Akash, can you tell us more about this sanction that has been given by the Ministry of Home Affairs to prosecute Manish Sisodia?
Oh yes, so it is the biggest development. In fact, after the approval and recommendation of Lieutenant Governor, this is the development that we are getting, where the Ministry of Home Affairs has finally given its sanction to prosecute Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia under the Prevention of Corruption Act in the FBU case. Now, Anjali, this is for our viewers. Back in 2015, when Aam Aadmi Party got a thumping majority in Delhi, these FBU units were created, and the allegation is that these FBU units were created going beyond the line. And in fact, no approval from the cabinet was taken. In fact, Manish Sisodia used to head Vigilance Department, and this particular proposal was moved by Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. So this is the allegation. In fact, just a few days back, when CBI conducted a preliminary inquiry in this particular case, this particular report was sent to Lieutenant Governor, and in fact, in the note of Lieutenant Governor, it was mentioned that prima facie it's a big violation of not only the legislation, but also this case is pertaining to corruption. And that is the reason why now we are learning that the sanction to prosecute Manish Sisodia is under the Prevention of Corruption Act. Also, if I can quote, Lieutenant General from that particular note, and I quote, "I am of considered view that the case requires to be further investigated by CBI deeply after registering a regular case. I therefore approve the proposal of Director of Vigilance to forward the request of CBI in respect of Manish Sisodia, Deputy Chief Minister." Now, we have seen a whole lot of political drama over this particular issue, where in fact, Bharatiya Janata Party said that this was the real intention of Aam Aadmi Party, and back in 2015, in fact, they were very clear that they are in the particular government to keep an eye on other political parties. They just want to track the developments. They just want to track the ministers of the central government. This was the initial allegation from the BJP. And in fact, the preliminary inquiry, several points were made in that preliminary inquiry, that how initially 16 posts were created under the Vigilance Department. And even when, nobody, had that sort of power, and, they went beyond the powers that were given in the legislation. And soon after that, while, LG recommended this particular case to Ministry of Home Affairs, now we are learning that, sanction to prosecute Manish Sisodia. In fact, now we are learning that a case would be registered against Manish Sisodia, and it would be a second case by CBI, because we know that how in the excise policy case, his name has been very much there in the FIR, and in fact, he's a very part of investigation. On 26th of February, he's going to appear before CBI. So this is the second case. It will be important as to how Aam Aadmi Party would react to this, but this is an important development where, in fact, MHA has approved the sanction to prosecute Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia.
Pallavi, can you tell our viewers, why exactly did Aam Aadmi Party set up the feedback unit back in 2015?
So the whole idea of the feedback unit, or the FBU as they call it, is to address the grievances. We take feedback from the people, we try and find out what their concerns are, and we are going to address their grievances, which is fair enough. But unfortunately, what was also happening is that, one, the FBU was set up only violation of the norms, not even gone through the usual rigmarole of going through the cabinet, informing the LG's office, so on and so forth. But worse is, what it was discovered was that it was actually being used to target the political opponents of the Aam Aadmi Party, which included also the BJP plus the Congress. So there's always this allegation that you are using this unit actually to snoop in on the activities of the political opponents and use it for your own political advantage, and possibly also as far as your governance is concerned. That is where the objection has come to. So the process, which of course goes to, is that the LG has to seek the sanction of the MHA, recommends it to the Home Ministry that we should go ahead and prosecute the Deputy Chief Minister because he was the one who had ordered it. And once the Home Ministry gives that prosecution to the CBI to register an FIR, it's just now a process which is going to be put into place ASAP, and this would be seen as a huge setback, and I would say a very, very serious allegation against the Deputy Chief Minister and eventually on the Chief Minister.
We have BJP's RP Singh joining us on the story. Sir, now Manish Sisodia is in fresh trouble and the Ministry of Home Affairs has given sanction to prosecute him in the snooping case. How would you like to react on this?
Well, they have used public money for the political.
Welcome back. Nikki Haley isn't the only Indian American leader who's eyeing one of the most powerful jobs in the world. After Haley, Indian origin healthcare and tech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy has announced his 2024 US presidential election bid for the Republicans. He's the second Indian American now to enter the Republican primary. Vivek Ramaswamy has launched his 2024 bid with a promise to put merit back and end dependence on China. Earlier this month, two-term former governor of South Carolina and former US ambassador to the UN, Haley announced her presidential campaign. She announced she will contest against her former boss and ex-US President Donald Trump for the party's nomination. So who exactly is Vivek Ramaswamy? He's 37-year-old, a native of Southwest Ohio. He made the announcement during a live interview on Fox News' show with Tucker Carlson. His mother was a psychiatrist. His father worked as an engineer. Ramaswamy's parents migrated to the US from the Indian state of Kerala. He attended Harvard University for his undergrad and later got a law degree from Yale. Ramaswamy is the author of Woke Inc. Inside Corporate America's Social Justice Scam and has been dubbed as the CEO of Anti-Woke Inc. by The New Yorker. Ramaswamy announced his candidacy with a pledge to stop dependence on China. That's one of the big things he wants to do. He describes China, the communist-run state, to be the greatest external threat to America with his op-ed in a newspaper. Ramaswamy's early campaign also includes promises including putting an 8-year limit on federal bureaucrats and eliminating worthless federal agencies. He's also batting for protecting political expression as a civil right. This has been a hot-button topic in America recently. He's also standing against affirmative action. Now, this is a policy in the US of favoring individuals belonging to groups regarded as disadvantaged or subject to discrimination for various positions. This stand of Ramaswamy could be highly contentious in an America divided on race lines more than ever before. His plans for the 2024 US presidential elections include revitalizing the American spirit and bringing back a culture of merit into society. He said he will repeal Lyndon Johnson's Executive Order 11246, which mandates race-based quotas on day one if elected. He also wants to dismantle what he calls climate religion. He says there's a national identity crisis in the US driven by a left-wing ideology wherein faith, patriotism and hard work have been replaced with new secular religions like COVIDism, climatism and gender ideology. Finally, he says he will fight to combat and annihilate drug cartel. Listen in from the man himself.
Hey guys, as you might have seen, I just announced my run for president on Tucker's show. That was a fun conversation, but we have hard work ahead of us. I have one ask for you tonight, okay? $1 at Vivek2024.com. I need to get on the debate stage, and I think the thing we need to do in this country in 2023 is decide on the what. What does the conservative movement stand for? What does the GOP stand for? In 2024, we can decide the who. But if we decide the agenda, we get this right now, that's going to be good for the GOP. It's going to be good for the conservative movement. It is going to be good for this country. And the one thing I need your help on in order to do that is I don't need a big donation. I need $1. Do it right now, Vivek2024.com, VIVEK 2024.com. And I'd be really appreciative. We can start this movement, we can start it strong, and hopefully revive the national identity that we're missing in this country. Thanks a lot.
Well, this agenda certainly has some of the most hot-button topics being discussed in America and the world. So here's a look at the 3 official candidates from the Republican Party so far. 2 of them, interestingly, are now Indian heritage individuals. Ramaswamy is the youngest at age 37. Former President Donald Trump is 76, Nikki Haley is 51. And she did trigger a massive debate in the US on older candidates and how they should pass tests that they can function properly. There are no official candidates so far from the Democratic Party. I leave you on that note. Thanks a lot for watching. Waqf land in India is hardly benefiting actual Muslims on the ground. Several Muslim victims themselves have come out to say. So actually benefiting Waqf boards is not a benefit to ordinary Muslims.
India as a society is still not prepared
or live-in relationship. The parents completely not in agreement with an equation of this nature, and the girls do not have the option of coming back, because if the relationship goes wrong, then where do they go back to?